It's 2:18 in the morning in Philadelphia. Jack Reacher has just left a gig at the Uptown Theater, grabbed an after-midnight cheesesteak, and is heading down into the Walnut Locust subway station. He boards a nearly empty train car and immediately locks onto a woman sitting at the far end. She's visibly distressed, crying, talking to herself, maybe praying, wearing a heavy winter coat in warm weather, hands buried inside a bag on her lap. To Reacher's military-trained eye, this is textbook suicide bomber behavior. He approaches carefully. "I need to see your hands," she tells him to leave her alone. He points out how empty the car is and how waiting for rush hour would have been more effective if she was planning something big. He keeps talking, calm but firm, until she finally shows him one hand. Then the other hand comes out holding a large revolver pointed at his chest. Reacher's eyes widen. "That's better than the bomb I thought you had." He tries to talk her down. "I can help you. I'm a cop." It's only half true. He's a retired Army investigator living on his pension, but he's all in. She looks at him and says, "No one can help me now." Then she puts the gun to her own head and pulls the trigger. Reacher has just witnessed a stranger blow her brains out right in front of him, and now he's right in the middle of whatever drove her to it. Next, we find Reacher at a Philadelphia police station being questioned by detectives Sean Doherty and Tamara Green. Doherty is the abrasive one with a fresh black eye. Green is sharper and more measured. They treat him like a suspect at first. Doherty asks for his address. Reacher asks for the address of the precinct. "So you're homeless," Doherty says. Reacher fires back, "Now I see why you're a detective." Reacher quickly demonstrates why he's not just some random big guy. He notes there were 4 witnesses on the train, not 3. He describes them in detail, and Reacher also points out that they let him wash his hands instead of testing him for gunshot residue. They already know it's a suicide. They're stalling. Green finally admits it. The dead woman's name is Anna Merrick. She held a sensitive government job. Federal agents from D.C. are on their way to question him. Reacher agrees to wait, out of curiosity more than anything, and orders another cheesesteak. While they wait, Reacher and Green share the food at her desk. He notices the gritty bobblehead and asks what the hell it is. She warns him not to be shitty to her gritty. There's a quiet moment of respect forming between them. Reacher can tell she's too sharp for the night shift on a case like this, but she shuts down any personal questions. Anna's brother, Jacob Merrick, a patrol officer from New Jersey, arrives at the station. He's in visible shock. Daylight comes. 3 federal agents arrive. They refuse to identify their agency, so Reacher immediately dubs them Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Snap does most of the talking. They've pulled Reacher's military record, highly decorated, left under a cloud. They ask if he has issues with the Army or the government. "Tons," he replies. They're laser-focused on one question. Did Anna give him anything before she died? Reacher says no. They don't believe him. Frustrated by their stonewalling, he walks out. Outside the station, 2 men approach him and ask the same question, except they specifically want the flash drive Anna supposedly gave him. Reacher recognizes them as errand boys, asks who their boss is, and when they attack, he dismantles them fast. He then spots Jacob sitting in a greasy spoon across the street and heads over. Jacob is devastated. He's dreading telling his nephew Ben, a college football player at Temple, that his mother is dead. He and Anna were both adopted and extremely close. Anna worked in Army Human Resources, personnel records. She loved her job and her son. Jacob is convinced she would never kill herself willingly. Reacher tells him people are already coming after him over a flash drive, and that the federal government is unusually interested. He's in it now. The 2 thugs Reacher just beat up reappear outside the diner. Reacher buys a random student's flash drive for $50, walks outside, and bluffs that this is the drive they want. He'll hand it over only if they take him to their boss. They do. He meets Lila Hoth and her mother, Amisha. Lila explains everything. In the late 1990s, Amisha had an affair with a Delta Force operative named John while he was stationed in Indonesia. Lila is the result. She never met her father. Now Lila has leukemia and desperately needs a bone marrow transplant. Matches are hard to find for someone of mixed race, and her mother can't donate due to her own health issues. Anna, moved by her own adoption story, used her access to Army records to help Lila track the father down. She discovered he is Congressman John Sampson of North Carolina, a rising political star and likely presidential contender. Anna pulled documents proving Sampson was in Indonesia at the right time. Lila planned to use that information to force a DNA test and, if he was a match, pressure him into donating. Rejecting his dying daughter would be political suicide. Lila knows blackmail is ugly, but she doesn't want to die. She gives Reacher her number and hotel information in case he finds anything. Reacher admits the drive he just used was fake. He didn't have the real one, but now he's fully invested. Reacher and Jacob head to the Parkway Central Library to research Sampson. Public records are clean and useless. Reacher asks about military archives and heads to the basement stacks. There, a knife-wielding assassin attacks him, demanding the flash drive. What follows is one of the episode's standout action sequences, then wraps the guy up and crushes him to death between two heavy stacks. He dumps the body in the staff-only coal room. Realizing Lila is probably next, Reacher and Jacob race to her hotel. They arrive just as another assassin slips into her room while she's in the shower. Reacher bursts in, fights the man across the room, and throws him out the window. The assassin survives the fall thanks to a fire escape, reaches a waiting vehicle full of armed men on the street, and they open fire on the building. Reacher, Jacob, now with a broken nose, and Lila escape. Reacher gives Lila cash, tells her to buy muted clothes so she doesn't stand out, and check into a cheap cash-only motel. He plans to head to Washington to confront the congressman. Jacob has to return his police cruiser across state lines and says he'll meet Reacher at the 6 p.m. train to D.C. from Penn Station. Reacher walks off alone toward the train station. In an alley, 4 men in suits intercept him. Their leader, Foster, says he'd like to talk. One draws a tranquilizer gun loaded with enough to take down a gorilla. Reacher lunges first, but gets hit with a dart. He still puts up a ferocious fight. It takes a second dart before he finally goes down. The 4 men load his massive frame into a van and drive away.